What's going on, everybody? And welcome back to a brand new episode of Element 305. I'm your host, Trone,
It's your co-host Gary.
and today we're here to talk about my favorite team, your favorite team, our favorite team, the Miami Heat. And we are finally back in the win column. It feels great. But we'll get to that. We'll get to that in a little bit. But we're just gonna jump right into it. I will say I am happy that Um, we didn't record when we were supposed to originally record because I was gonna say some outlandish things. I was gonna make a outlandish request. What I texted you, the picture, the gif I texted you. I was gonna make an outlandish request. I was gonna jump. I was gonna jump off the. I was gonna jump off the bridge.
Uh,
but nah. But yeah. So we're gonna get straight into it. We was coming off a 7 game losing streak. And we weren't just losing, like we were losing bad. Like we were getting smacked in most cases. Like it's a difference if we're like hustling and we're playing hard and then lose. But just consistently getting smacked by like 15 plus was definitely not the wave. But what were you like? What were a few things you were noticing like during that loss, and like what do you think in situations like that? What's something that you think would help that not happen? Like something that you think the team needs, something that you think the team needs to get away from. Just what were your thoughts like going through those that 7 game losing streak?
I mean, to be honest, like the only thing I saw that led to those blowout L's
Mm-hmm.
by G League teams, good teams. It was listening to everybody. Like
Yep.
it was crazy. But one thing I saw is like there was lack of energy everywhere. Like
Yeah.
people were rotating, people were just letting their man blow past them.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody was picking up for their blown by. Nobody picked them up. Because that's how they usually play. If somebody blows by,
Mm-hmm.
they let them go, rotate to the other man that's open, and then somebody else will pick them up. And that's how the Heat defense, successful Heat defense, has been.
Yep.
But for that stretch of L's, that we did not see that whatsoever. And you already know our offense is butt low key.
Yeah.
I'm always gonna say that, like, our offense, we beat teams through defense,
Yeah.
and then like here and there we make buckets and stuff, but like our offense is not super crazy to where we blow teams out every night.
Yep.
So the defense being there always helped us. But yeah, the they don't they don't play defense.
Mm-hmm.
They didn't play defense on that stretch.
Nope.
So that's what led to those different L's. And I mean, we saw the difference tonight against the Kings.
Yep.
Um,
Yeah.
they were actually playing defense. So
Facts.
they got transition buckets. They got their open man.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, and now we saw Jimmy. There were more plays ran through Jimmy now.
Yep.
So
And yeah, and
so yeah, man.
I completely, like, I agree with everything that you said. And you know, like at the beginning of the losing streak, because I think the first game that we lost to was Atlanta.
The Raptors, I think.
And yeah,
What?
one of those games. But I know like the Atlanta game specifically, um, we like games like that. I take games like that. Like DeJounte Murray, he hit a three. He had like a three at
Oh
the end of the
yeah.
clock. I mean, those, like, that is what it is. Like he hit a three. You can't really stop that. Like it was a back and forth game. He hit a three to win a game. Cool. I'm okay with that. But then it's like after that game, then we played the Memphis Grizzlies game, and like you said, losing to G League teams like the Grizzlies, they ain't have no Ja, no Desmond Bain. The only person that they had was Jaren Jackson Jr. and
And he
Bam
got
was
clamped.
yeah, Bam was cooking him. So on defense, Bam was making sure he wasn't doing anything. So then you had like these other dudes just cooking, and granted, they're all professional basketball players. So like that's expected from them. They should be coming in to win these games or whatever. But it just got to a point where it was getting like ridiculous, and you're just like, bro, like what are we doing here? And then you had the loss to Boston, And I just hate those losses like a lot more. When it's like to Boston, and then the next game, we lost to the Knicks, and I really hate those games. We like lose to the Knicks. Um, Toronto, um, who else we lost? Because I feel like we was losing to everybody. Um, but yeah, whatever other teams that we was playing that we was losing against, and it just sucked. Like just seeing no effort. Like that's main. I think that was the main thing. More than anything that made the losses so frustrating, because like these dudes weren't even playing with effort. And I know after games, like Jimmy kept saying, they got to start smiling more and like smiling on the court, which led me to believe that something was causing that slump. Then you had Spo with um, like the really weird, just coaching decisions, and you like, bro, like what are we doing here? Like this is really getting crazy, really getting out of control. Um, and as you mentioned, offense is not great, like at all, but we get away with it because like we generate enough offense to where if we played great defense, we wouldn't have like it wouldn't really matter as much because we're stopping
Mm.
teams. But it was to the point where everybody was scoring. Every team was hitting threes against us. Every team was doing everything, and we weren't doing anything. Then like Duncan losing his place in the rotation, that sucked because it didn't look like he was getting as much burn as he usually gets. And then, trying to implement Terry Rozier into the fold without him actually like having real practices, like real film sessions. Like he literally, got off the plane and just started playing. So we kind of knew that it would take, it would take a couple of games, kind of to get him acclimated. But then it started taking a bunch of games, and yeah, that wasn't
Yeah.
great. Um, so and then like so with all of that, um, during that 7 game win streak, and even still though, even though we won tonight against Sacramento, there's still changes that need to be made. So what are like a couple of things that you would do to try to make the team better to where we're not getting in a position like that again?
Uh, she like I mean, the obvious thing is to like just get like bigger guys. Like we
Hmm.
need we need a backup big
Yeah.
because we're playing K Love as backup center, but
Yep.
K Love is old and he's not tall enough sometimes. Um, and then Thomas Bryant is unplayable sometimes. So it's like,
Yeah. Facts.
yeah, the priority should be to get other bigs,
Yeah.
but other than that, like even you saw tonight, like the effort thing. You need to put effort, like all
Yep.
4 quarters throughout the game, like defense, because yeah, they know they're a short team as it is. So it's
Hmm.
like only way y'all get to beat teams is by putting in that effort, and that's not something that should have been like brought up. Because they
Facts.
should know this by now. They've been to
Facts.
like 2 finals the last I don't even know how many years. Like
Mm-mm.
in the last like 4 or 5 years, they've
Yep.
been to 2 finals. They've been to like 3 Eastern Conference finals. Like, come on, bro. I should know this by now. Like,
And with that, and
but
like also real quick before you continue with
yeah,
the effort thing, like literally their entire team, their entire like mantra is built off of working hard. Like
hmm
that's the thing. Like that's the culture. Working hard. That's the whole like identity of the Miami Heat. So to see those games, because like a seven game like losing streak can happen to any team. Like it is very possible to happen to any team. But when you see the team just not playing hard or doing things that's uncharacteristic to what you're used to seeing, that's where it starts to get frustrating. Just as a fan, like so I'm sure for them too, it was pretty frustrating. But mainly like as a fan, that's what it gets extremely frustrating. But yeah, you continue. I just wanted to like bring that point up as well.
yeah, like I said, effort and I don't know what it is. Like I've been going through Twitter and I've seen how I guess what some people are saying to about the players and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And I heard like Caleb's camp had a problem with what somebody has said, and
Mm-hmm.
I think I told you about the Chef Trilly guy
Yeah, yeah,
before
yeah. I
on
follow him
Twitter.
too.
Yeah, he had mentioned about like Caleb's camp,
Mm-hmm.
because he had talked about how Caleb, they should have sold high on Caleb like
Yeah.
last year's playoff
Yep.
because he got hot, and he's not playing up to par like the same way
Mm-hmm.
this season, and they were like angry about what he said or something,
Right.
but like they should not be worrying about outside talk. Like, bro, like I said, you've been to three Eastern Conference Finals the last like 4 seasons.
Mm-hmm.
Um, you know that the organization it just wants to win championships. Like you said as well. Like we have that mantra where it's like hardworking,
Yep.
most disciplined,
Yep.
like team in the NBA. Like, come on, you got it.
And they
But
weren't doing
I could
that.
also, yeah, but I could also see how for the past like 4 seasons, like since there's been success, but like they never reached like the actual goal, which is to win the championship.
Yep.
Like after 4 seasons to get 4 seasons together, it could be like they kind of forget about it, which is
Yep.
understandable. It's kind of like that. It kind of gets like you kind of get comfortable in a way,
Yeah.
or damn, I don't know the right word, but it's
Like
like
you
if you
get
get
lackadaisical.
comfortable,
Yeah, you get
yeah,
lackadaisical. Like
like
you're not
you
motivated.
know, yeah. So it's like I can understand that, and I can see why they went on that losing streak, and
Mm-hmm.
I can see how that players only meeting that Bam had
Mm-hmm.
with the team and the coach doing film and stuff like that. I could see how that probably locked them back into the image of like what their goal is.
Yep.
So yeah.
And speaking of that too, like like once again, I agree with everything you said. Like we for sure need a big, like we need somebody that's gonna at least get rebounds or at least be a presence at the rim. Get blocks, all that stuff. And I mean, I'll just say it, and I've mentioned it before on this podcast like several times. Um, listen, we might listen, we might as well just go get some Whiteside. Like, I think with so personally, like me, I was always like a Whiteside fan. Um, every time, like I was because like yeah, his attitude wasn't always great. He wasn't the greatest scorer, but I knew for a fact I was getting two things from Whiteside. I'm getting rebounds and I'm getting blocks. And some comedy in the post game conference if he had like a really good game. But he's the type of player, like number one, he knows the system already. And if Bam comes out, you might drop off in the scoring department, maybe, but you're not gonna get out rebounded. You're not like players aren't just getting to the rim as easily because all like Kevin Love, I've seen in the past few games, Kevin Love definitely he'll get some blocks, like he'll get a block or two. But the main thing Kevin Love is doing is stepping in trying to draw charges. And
Mm.
yeah, that works up until a certain point. Like I don't think that's something that I would necessarily like count on every single time. So I mean, and it doesn't have to be Whiteside, but you look at Whiteside, he's cheap right now. Like they don't have to pay him much, and then the circumstances would be way different because this time we're not asking for Whiteside to be the what was it like $90 million like center or whatever. We're not asking him to do that. We're not asking him to start games and finish games and everything. We just ask you to get on the court, get some rebounds, get a couple blocks. I know that is a very popular opinion amongst like other Heat fans because I see it all the time. Like all they do is trash Whiteside. Me personally, I like Whiteside. I like Hassan Whiteside. I don't know where he at. Last I heard, he was in Puerto Rico. They could give a call to Puerto Rico. Yo, what you doing? I know you still got your house in Miami. Come through, get a 10-day something like just something. But like all jokes aside, we need a big. Like we do need a big for when Bam goes out, and we can't even say the big is to replace Bam because Bam is 6'9". Like he's like a 6'9" center. He plays under he plays under man like undersized every single game. But what he brings to the table defensively makes up for like what he's lacking in height. So just a big somebody to help us out when we're taking Bam out the game, and that's one thing. And then number two, like I think we need like an actual point guard. but like also a point guard that's gonna score too. Like that's gonna score and play defense. And I'm gonna sound crazy saying this, but Drew Smith might have been that guy because he started playing like way better. Like right before he got hurt, you knew with him when he came in, he was gonna lock up. Like if you got nothing else, he was gonna lock up and he was gonna take bad 3-point shots. You knew that, like that was a given. Locking up, taking bad 3-point shots, which whatever. But he can pass, like he can play make, and he played defense. So he gave us kind of what we need, and he had the occasional like he could get to the rim or whatever. But a big and a point guard, and I think it helps alleviate a lot of the problems that this team has, like on a night to night basis.
That is crazy too, because I think Drew Smith's injury was like an ACL sprain.
Yeah, it's a
It
sprain.
wasn't
Yeah,
even a tear, and
yeah,
he was out, and he's out for the whole season. That's
yeah.
crazy to me.
Yep,
That's crazy as hell to me. Like I
yep.
would think like he would miss like 3 to 5 months maybe. Like,
Hmm.
but I guess like since they don't count the playoffs, I guess it would be out for the whole season. Whatever. Mate, I don't even know.
And then the Heat,
But that's crazy.
you get one injury, you out till
Yeah.
minimum 45 games. Like minimum
Boy,
45.
Jimmy was out for like 6 games of some dental procedures.
No, that's
Come on,
facts
man.
though. That's facts. But yeah, so it's like I think we're kind of seeing the same thing in terms of like what the team would need to improve. But speaking of improving, we had the game, that just went off against Sacramento, and they played like the team we expected them to play like. Like literally, they played like everything we just talked about and said that they weren't playing like during the 7-game losing streak. They were passing the ball, they were hitting threes, they were playing defense, locking up. Jimmy was playing like a superstar, which is what he is. Bam at first was locking up Domantas Sabonis. But Sabonis is nice, so he gonna get his. Like that's you can't stop nice. But Bam did a great job on him, like did as best as he could on him while still giving us like a solid game. Tyler, he only had 14 points, but he's always a threat. Terry Rozier, I think Terry Rozier had like 5 points, if I'm not mistaken. But he had 10 assists, 5 rebounds. So he played a really good game. And I think you said it right before we got on, started recording, but like there's always that threat of Terry Rozier scoring. So the fact that there's that threat of him scoring causes him to be able to do the little things like set his teammates up, get the assists, get the rebounds, do this, do that. So just basing it off tonight's game, like what did you notice? Like what do you think the switch was, or what do you think like the flip was to get them to play how they played tonight versus the last 7 games?
So yeah, like I said, like one thing I did see was more plays ran through Jimmy,
Mm-hmm.
like Jimmy taking over.
Mm-hmm.
When Jimmy has the ball in his hands more, like you can see more stuff happening because most of the time Jimmy has a mismatch, so they have to throw a double team.
Yep.
Jimmy's gonna find whoever's open
Every single
about
time.
85% of
Yep.
the time to
Yep.
90% of the time. Like
Yep.
he's gonna find you, and teammates were finding him too. Like there was a play where K Love threw Jimmy a lob
Mm-hmm.
on a backdoor cut of
Yep.
a screen from I think it was Hawkes.
Right.
Screened him and Love threw him a lob. I saw Tyler actually throwing lobs to Bam. Like
Yep.
I don't know why they don't throw lobs to Bam, but also like Terry Rozier 10 assists. Like I said, like back to your point where you mentioned we needed a point guard. I'm not gonna lie, Terry is a 2 guard at heart,
Yeah.
but he's not a bad passer. Like he
Right.
finds teammates easily too.
Right. And
And
I meant that more more to wit like a backup, like somebody when Terry isn't on the court. Like more like that's why I said Drew Smith. Because like he's already on the team, and I think he plays a backup point guard like really well. Like I'm not gonna count on him to be
Yeah.
the lead point guard. But that's more so what I meant. Like somebody to back up Terry. Because I think Terry is doing great in his role. Like it's taking some adjusting. But the fact that he's always a threat at point guard, like that's what differentiates him and Kyle Lowry. And I seen somebody on Twitter saying like they're turning Terry Rozier into Kyle Lowry. But the difference is Terry Rozier, like you can expect any given night he can erupt for 25. Kyle Lowry, you didn't expect that every night unless like the big three were out. But yeah, you got to finish your point. That's more so what I meant though, like a backup point guard, like somebody that can take it over when he's on the bench.
Nah, yeah, like all those points I made.
Mm-hmm.
But like one thing I do hope they do clean up.
Mm-hmm.
Um, you did mention that part with how they're playing like Terry, like Kyle Lowry in a way.
Mm-hmm.
I do hope that in the future, Terry gets more. Uh, he gets easier shots. Like every time I see him take shots,
Mm-hmm.
he's either creating for himself
Yeah.
or yeah, like most of the time he's shooting is him creating for himself. I
Right.
barely see him getting open shots from teammates.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so once they clean that part up,
Right.
but keep that same effort on defense, I think we're gonna be fine. We're
Right.
gonna be just fine.
Yep. Completely agree with you.
That's it.
And yeah, so just being able to get that W, back in the win column is amazing. And what we did tonight is what we need to continue to do. Now, I'm not expecting us to like win out the rest of the season or anything like that. But if they continue to play with the effort that we saw tonight, and they continue to play with that heart, like as cliche as it may sound, and whatever it was that Bam said to them in that players only meeting, like that's the stuff that you like to see because he had a players only meeting and it showed that he wasn't just like it didn't just go into one ear and out the other. Like whatever was said, the team respected him enough as their defensive anchor. The team respected him enough to listen and come out and show it. And then one last point that I did want to make concerning the Caleb Martin point that you made. I know what you're talking about. Like I was seeing the same tweets and everything. But I don't know if you noticed the way that Caleb has been playing where it's like, oh, I'ma just be a spot up 3-point shooter for some weird reason compared to how he played tonight when he was getting to the rim. Because once he gets that first dribble, that first step, he's damn near unguardable. Like, and I don't mean that in a sense that nobody can stop him. I mean in a sense he's going to get to the rim and he's either going to get fouled, he's going to draw the defense in, or he's going to lay the ball up every single time. I don't mind him taking threes or whatever when he's open, but his game is slashing to the rim and getting to the rim. He does it extremely well. Like he's pretty much unstoppable once he's at the rim because he's a threat to dunk the ball. He's a threat to do an acrobatic layup or something along that nature. So I think that whatever was being said and like his team being upset by what was said, I think it was taken to heart. And tonight he started playing like he took it to heart. He's like, oh, okay, well. And then with that, like with him doing that and people being afraid that he's gonna drive to the rim, now they're gonna start playing off of him. They start playing off of him. Now he's open for the three, as opposed to forcing a three where his shot is already kind of awkward. So
Yeah.
if he's being defended, it's even worse, But the fact that he played like what we were used to with him getting to the rim, like pretty much uncontested, is something that we like to see. And shout out to Josh Richardson too. He carried.
Yeah.
He
Yeah.
he
He did it.
he yeah, he played a great game. I think he had 5 threes or like 5 or 6 threes. He got to the rim a bunch, playing good defense. That's all we asked for. Like this is what we've been expecting to see from Josh Richardson. I don't know if it was because Duncan was out or what, but he played a great game tonight. Like, and that's something that I like to see
Yeah.
coming from him.
Low key, we probably would have lost that game if he ain't go off like that, in
Yeah,
my opinion.
yeah.
Because at one point we was up like
18.
maybe 12.
The high we were up
It,
18 and the Kings came back.
yeah, like they came back like, and they tied the game, and then
Mm-hmm.
I come back halftime. I come back like 1 minute late to after halftime,
Yeah.
like in the third quarter,
Mm-hmm.
and it was down 3 already. I'm like, yo, what? Like, when did this happen? Like, but yeah, like if it wasn't for him going off, we probably would have lost that.
Right.
They wouldn't even have been close. But another result of that is us winning is like I said, the defense.
Mm-hmm.
Like Keegan Murray, like
Add
they
him
need
to the
to
Heat
figure
killer
out a
list.
way where,
Add him
yeah,
to the
like
Heat killer list. Yeah.
they need to figure out how to, like, whenever somebody's hot, like stop giving him those shots. Like, if
Yep.
somebody's hot, please guard him, bro. Like, it be getting me frustrated because I'm like, bro, they playing this lazy ass defense on
Yep.
somebody that's on fire. Like,
Yep.
I thought Keegan Murray was gonna win them the game at some point. Like, yo, what
Facts.
the hell?
Nah, Keegan Murray, he's added to the list. It's him, Malik Monk, TJ McConnell. Um, who else? It was Terry Rozier until he joined us. Who
That
else?
dude, that rookie from the Jazz, what's his name?
I know. Yeah,
Can't think of his name like that.
Keon. I think it's something with a K. I don't know, but
Yeah.
yeah, him, the dude that kept hitting the threes. So yeah, it's a bunch of people that we got add to the Heat killer list. What's the dude that retired? Evan Ross. No, not Evan Ross. That's his name.
Terrence Ross.
Terrence Ross. Yeah, Tevin. I don't know Evan Ross. Yeah, Terrence Ross. So it's just a bunch of people that we can just add to the list where they play us, and it's just like, yo, I want to be Jordan in the '90s. Like, that's who I'm gonna be tonight, and there's nothing you can do about it to stop me. So,
Which is funny too, because like that Celtics game we lost,
mhm.
the Celtics could not miss. Like, nobody could miss,
No.
right? The next game they played, they got spanked. They got spanked and they shot like ass. Like, I don't understand that. Yeah.
Yeah,
It's insane.
it's so crazy. But one more point too that I wanted to make before we head out. The game against Phoenix, right? Oh, and Grayson Allen, that's the other one. But the game against Phoenix, the night before, Phoenix had a back-to-back. They played Orlando the night before, and this was another thing where I was thinking about our center struggles, like our like us not having anybody under 7 feet. I think Orlando played like 3 or 4 like 7-footers on their team. Like, I think it's like 3 or 4 of them. Jonathan Isaac, Franz Wagner, Mo Wagner, Paulo is up there too in height, and somebody else. But they beat Phoenix because they had the size to handle the Suns. Once I saw us playing and I saw Bam getting cooked by Drew Eubanks, I'm like, I bet. Like, we need somebody tall. Like, we need a 7-footer on this team to do something. Because between Drew Eubanks and what's the other dude? What's Phoenix starting center name?
Jusuf Nurkic.
Yeah, Nurkic. Yeah, there we go. Yeah. I like Nurkic too. I don't know how I forgot his name. But between those two, they were cooking in the paint. So that's one of the things that, and the trade deadline is coming up next week, February 8th. So by next episode, I believe we should, if the Heat decide to make any more moves, we should be able to see that. Pat, Mickey, call Hassan Whiteside, hit him up on
I think that
Snapchat. So
I think the only way I could see them, like, if they don't make a trade for a big, is to fix that issue where they're getting killed by big. It's just by bigs. It's just to like one thing I noticed on that Phoenix game is they would focus on KD so much that they would let like the bigs just
being it.
slip through into the
Yep.
paint,
Yep.
and then they get found easily like that.
Yep.
I was saying in my head, I'm like, yo, let KD kill us. I don't care. KD's gonna get his, bro.
Yep.
Let KD kill, bro. Like I do not care. Let D Book, let KD kill. Let them beat us by themselves. Like they're
Yep.
gonna have to have a great game
Yep.
if they wanna beat us. Like just focus on the big and get rebounds. Like especially against like if we're going against teams with tall bigs,
Yep.
and there's a bunch in the West actually, like the Timberwolves, um, Denver with
Yep.
Jokic,
Mm-hmm.
uh, with the Suns. Then
Orlando, because Orlando's probably
yeah,
gonna make the
I
playoffs
mean
this year.
Orlando low key don't scare me. Like in a 7 game series, I still got Miami beaten.
Yeah, I
Like
mean,
they
but I mean, we also don't want them to struggle with something completely like avoidable. Like they can avoid getting cooked by other teams' bigs pretty easily actually if they just find a
yeah,
big. Um but yeah, no, I agree with you with that. And hopefully in the buyout market maybe we find somebody that that can help us. Um Hopefully on a
I
trade
try to get
market.
more Bamba.
Yeah.
I try to get more Bamba of the Sixers.
Yeah.
That's just my opinion.
That's another one, the other Heat killer, because he cooked. He was looking like Joel Embiid. That was that Christmas game. I think it was the
Yeah,
Christmas game. Yeah, he's looking like Joel Embiid. So, we that's just something that the team should work on. But you know, great thing. We're back in the win column. Um,
mhm.
Thank you guys for you guys have been tuning in, getting the views up. Make sure you guys like and subscribe, all of that good stuff. We'll be back next week Thursday, same time, same place. Hopefully with more
So,
wins, in the win column. All-Star break is coming up pretty soon too, so that should be good. Good one. You see, Hami made it to the rookie game. I'm sure Bam or Jimmy.
well deserved.
I'm sure Bam or Jimmy would probably make the reserves for the All-Star game. One of them at least, I'd like to think. Um, so yeah, just back in the win column. Like I said, I'm happy we recorded today instead of yesterday because yesterday I was gonna say some craziness and I was gonna mean it. My Hassan Whiteside take today was a little more tame because I was gonna say some things, but but yeah, thank you guys for tuning in. We really appreciate y'all. You got anything to say before we head on out of here?
Yeah, you gotta keep getting more dubs. Stay
Mm-hmm.
consistent. Stay disciplined on defense, and they could be anybody. We already know this though.
Yep. It's
We
facts.
already know this though.
Facts. So thank you guys. Have a good night, good morning, good afternoon, whenever you're listening to this. We'll catch you on the next one. Peace.
Peace.